Welcome to Creatively Exposed, a conversation for creatives, introverts, sapiosexuals, and all of the people entertained and who love us. I am Liz Flo, the podcast host, poet, writer, and overall Afro-Caribbean Latina creative. I know that is a mouthful, but welcome to the show. Welcome back to the show. Today is the final episode of the season, and I am amazed. I am amazed that this is episode 17 since I started in September, and I am amazed that we are even here today in this show, and someone, more than one someone, has been listening. And so this episode, I want to call it Keep That Same Energy. And although I might be a little low in energy because I may have had a little too much fun this weekend, I want to... Sometimes I think that I tend to reach a goal or start something and not have a moment to big up myself and be like, hey, I did that. So I want to review the things I do remember of 2019 because it has felt like the whole decade, literally. And I have changed so many times and grown and evolved within this year that there's just some things I'm not going to remember. So 2019, things that I'm really proud of and I may have not given myself enough credit are having a first time on stage, actually paid, and I oversold tickets to Raw Artists, Miami, something along those lines. It's basically a collective of artists that have their own showcase, and in order to have your fee paid, you're supposed to sell 20 tickets. I surpassed that, and that kind of set the tone for the amount of love, support, and just community that I'd get this year. So I basically read through my newly first published chapbook, which is a collection of poems, a short collection of poems. It's actually 16 pages, and that is pretty big because I literally published some of my favorite performance pieces in there in order to do this show. So that's 2 in 1, right? I think the next thing that I do have to celebrate is finding an in-person therapist, because that has literally allowed me to learn to be vulnerable in person and up close. I think that is something that for a long time I didn't feel open to. and I have reached so many breakthroughs. I think it compounded from my talk space therapist. She set the foundation for me to be able to be open enough and prepared enough to take that next step. And so I feel so blessed because there's just something, it's like your body knows the things that you need if you listen and you pay attention to it. And my body was ready for all of the little children that I have suppressed to come out and play and be in community with me as this adult self. And so I have been privileged and able to do that. And anyone who does know me, I believe they have seen and felt the difference. I have edited my long collection, my novel length collection of poems, and it was professionally edited, and I got some really excellent feedback, which whenever you put yourself out there to, be completely viewed with a magnifying glass, and it's some of the things that I never thought that I'd be considering to publish, it felt very uncomfortable for me. So to get this reinforcement is like, wow, I might be onto something here. And what else? Of course, Creatively Exposed came to life on my 31st birthday, and I've been so excited ever since. It does unlock another part of me that I'm ready to gear up and see for 2020. There's going to be probably some changes. I'll feel it out and see what happens. I have some really, really, really dope interviews to be released in the next year. And I'm very, very excited for all of these interviews that I've done and I'm pending to do. A couple of really dope creatives in the internet space that I have been able to just slide in the DMs, and I'm very excited that I have shot my shot and have been able to collaborate. What else do I have? I made like a little list of stuff so I, don't forget, because as you surpass 25 plus, things start to get foggy. All of those, 90s, 2000s song lyrics take up space. So you got to write the new stuff down. Cheers to surviving the whole decade, y'all. Like, I'm trying to think of 2009, and I think I was still in college, and I hadn't even graduated yet. And 10 years, yeah, it has been a lot for so many levels and reasons. I was a whole kid anyway. Shout out to you if you were here today and you have learned at least one thing from 10 years ago that you may not repeat again. You are evolving from, you are growing from, and making each day just a little bit better for yourself and others. I've actually, I don't know about you, but the Gemini full moon literally mollywopped my whole entire being. And I think what it did is that it shook up all the things that have yet to be completed, or the things that I have I have noticed but I haven't sat and paid attention to. Um, because this year there was so much that I have learned and gone through and grown through. There comes a time when you reach certain levels in your life and you realize that you no longer fit in these places that you have put yourself into or others have put you into. And so it's like, I'm officially too big for this box. And it is officially up to me to decide what is next, with intention and with the need for it to be something fulfilling and meaningful and that refills your cup. At least that's my truth. And I had a very beautiful therapy session where I realized, and it was brought to my attention, like, we are all worthy of chasing our dreams. Like, our ancestors have suffered and sacrificed in order for us to be in these places where we can potentially decide, even if it's not 100% at the moment, to create the life that we dream of and potentially can't even fathom because it's bigger than that dream. And I don't know about you, but that is scary. It's amazing. And it sometimes feel like, how do you grasp onto something so big? Like, I gotta level up so many times more in order to be where I desire to be. And it's like, the only one in your way right now is you. So what we gonna do? And that's my next decade's answer. Like, that's what I gotta work on. So shout out to you if you are here and still here and still trying to be here and figure out what gives you joy, what is that fire, what is that thing that lights you up, and how can I do more of that for the following year? How can I keep feeding into my soul each day just a little bit? At the end of this, I will be doing a preview of the book that I would have liked to publish yesterday, but you know how it is. And that's kind of why I'm taking this break, to focus on it and see if I can finish the year out strong, or almost, at least put it on pre-sale, and give myself an actual date to stop obsessing over this and making it overly perfect. Also, I just realized, I did a search in my inbox and I realized that I have gotten a lot of acceptances for literary online lit mags and anthologies. So that is something I am definitely celebrating. If you are not in my newsletter, check out lizflow.com, also in my show notes, and just subscribe. And you'll also,